All right, guys, we are about to go over the singles tier list. This does include not only the stats, but it also includes skills, blasts, and rush chains as well. So everything is included in this one, just like you guys asked for. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start from the bottom. This is going to be trash tiers. This is the lowest of the low. This is for singles. Now, one thing I would tell you guys is this version doesn't take transformations into consideration. Mostly, well, for the most part, and the reason is because you could just start in whatever form. DP limit doesn't matter. I think it's better to start in the preferred form that you are going to fight in. There is very niche times where you're going to want to transform in singles. Maybe we can go over a few of those, but for the most part, you're going to want to start and stay in that form. So these right here, the reason these characters are so low is, I mean, the first reason is their stats are terrible, like absolutely terrible. Like for example, I know Videl and Roshi have really good skills and supers as well. But the problem is like the supers don't do enough damage. The skills are good, but you're gonna get it. It does not take many hits to kill these characters. They have 30,000 health versus the normal 40,000, and the higher tiers 50,000. So you have almost half the amount of health, but you're doing like a third of the damage. So so they're doing 3 times more damage, and they have almost 2 times more health than you. So that's really why these characters are so low. I really like playing some of these. Like for example, Guldo, really fun to play. Kakunza, pretty fun to play. I personally like playing these characters. I'm kind of okay with Fidel, but she really hurts my playstyle because she can't do I want to say the high speed movement, not in sparking though, just the normal high speed movement. So like if you're hitting someone and you hit guard and then you teleport, I use that quite often, and she can't do that. So that really messes with me. But anyways, still fun characters to play. But if we're looking at like who is the best of the best in the single rank format, then I would say these are going to be at the lower end. I would definitely advise not choosing them. Let's go on to the next tier. So this is going to be below average tier, right? So below average. Now, I do think I want to go over some last second changes. I kind of made this list a few days ago, and I do have a few opinions to change a little bit around, and I was thinking about changing it then making the video, so that way, okay, well, the list is great, but honestly I think it would be better if I just talk about the changes. That way you guys can understand why I would like these changes, so that way you have a more in-depth perspective on where these characters should be. So there's two characters in particular that I think on this list should go to a higher position. Um, so one being 17, just because I think androids are really underrated. That being said, their barriers are terrible. So like his skills aren't very good. Um, I mean, that's like explosive wave is just exponentially better than barrier, and the main reason is because barriers are punishable. So like if you use barrier and hit them away, they can step back in and put you in another combo before you can respond. So that's a problem. Anyways, other than that, I think the biggest contender that should be moved up easily would be Teen Gohan. Not because he could transform, because like I said, I'm not really thinking transformations. He does have the possibility though, and since the singles, you don't really have to worry about switch timer, so you absolutely could. But I think the reason he should move up is because he has the best skill in the game, which is full power charge. Right, so full power charge, it gives you a full key bar, and a lot of people are going to say like, okay, well, instant sparking is better. It's like, well, there's a big difference between instant sparking and full power charge, and that difference is one has a cutscene that you cannot do anything about, and the other one doesn't, and that's a big deal because whenever you're like playing high level plays, like a lot of times you don't have enough time to be doing these cutscenes for anything, or I'm sorry, not cutscenes, but animations for anything because you're stuck there, not able to do anything, right? Well, full power charge, you could literally do it in the middle of your combo without even dropping the combo. So, like for example, I could trip you, then I could full power charge, then I could slightly charge Dex and continue the combo from there. And at no point can you guard any of that. But if I tripped you and then went instant sparking, not only would you be able to roll out of it or like get up, but you would also be able to start hitting me before I even got it off. So I wouldn't even be able to get it off. But that being said, none of the characters, the game is frozen while full power charge is giving you that key, and it only costs 2 DP points, or I'm sorry, skill points instead of 3. So it's 1 skill point less. It has a cutscene, so it's non-interruptible. Yeah, it's just not punishable. So that's really why I think full power charge, because like we could argue the second strongest is After Image Strike, but full power charge beats After Image Strike every time. Because if for example, let's say we both have 5 skill points, like just as an example, I can spam you with Ki Blast until I run out of ki. Then I can full power charge. I can spam you with Ki Blast until I run out of ki again, and repeat this process until for 15 seconds. Easy. Because I think if I spam Ki Blast until I run out, then I do that, I spam it one more time until I run out, I think that's 15 seconds right there. So your After Image Strike will be worn off. And then if you pop another one, I could just do it again. So like I can literally just keep spamming you with ki to the point where like you just can't fight back for the most part. I mean, certain characters can fight with like rush supers to go through it, but not every character has that option. And even then, it's like they could dodge the rush super quite easily. So yeah, I mean, it definitely is a really solid answer to After Image Strike. It's actually a solid answer to almost everything in the game. There are characters that like ignore Ki Blast though, like I think Broly full power, for example. So he ignores it. But anyways, yeah. Other than that though, I actually really like a lot of these characters. I actually got to A rank in singles with Fat Boo. Like I used Fat Boo to get to A rank. Now Fat Boo, he has the paralyzed beam, which is okay. It's not very good. And then he has sleep, which is terrible. And like regeneration is great, but the problem is the animation for sleep is so long that you literally can never get it off. Like there's just never a time where people are going to let you completely regenerate with sleep. So the times I do it is if you ever pop off your ultimate, right? Then they lose sight of you. Or if they hit you with an ultimate, they lose sight of you. And if they lose sight of you, that's when you use the sleep with Fat Boo. That's when you could do any of your skills that have a longer animation. But yeah, so if you're trying to set up sleep, a lot of times what you'll do is you'll hit someone with the ulti, and I think even if they block it, it still makes it where they can't see you. And so as soon as the ultimate ends, like a lot of times, I really want them to be hit away. Like I want it to actually hit though, to be fair. But like if it hits them away, it's also going to make it where they're not locked onto you anymore. And that means they can't just dash right back at you. It's going to take them a second. So that time frame is when you can use your sleep without being punished, right? Like, so that's good stuff. Honestly though, there's really nice characters. I really think a lot of these characters are really fun to play, even at this below average tier, mainly because I think most of the characters in this game is fun to play. But at a competitive level in singles, I don't think these would definitely not be the ones to choose. So moving on to average. Okay, so this is just average characters. So like I said, not really taking in transformations into account, but um, I really like playing Oob. Like just looking at this list at a you know at a standpoint. I also think if I was going to change anything on here, I think Bardock should probably move up to the next tier, like above average. If I was going to change, just because Shockwave of Rebellion is so strong. Um, but that being said, I don't know because the characters right alongside him are like really, really good. So I don't know. He's like he's someone you can make an argument for, but that's probably like really close to where he should be. The other thing that I would say is Sword Trunks. So Sword Trunks should move up, even in his base form. Well, that's Future Trunks, but still, like Future Trunks, any character with the sword animation. So Sword Trunks and Future Trunks should definitely move up because they're way better than Bardock. And the reason is because they can glitch the game where they win every single super counter. Every Vanish War they win. So the fact that you win every Vanish War, if I was going to make a change to this list, it would be those two characters should go much higher. Like they're definitely better than average. So I would put probably their base forms above average, and then their Super Saiyan forms I'd probably put it in like high tier. And when I say like high tier, I mean like to the top of high tier. Like like it's so if I was gonna make a change for this list, that would be it. Where I would just move the sword fighters way up because the fact that you can win every single super counter like, and when I say that, I mean like if they super counter you, you win. If you super counter them, you win. Like you win every super. Like it doesn't matter who initiates it, you win all of them. So yeah, that right there is just absolutely busted. Other than that, like I really like a lot of these characters. Like I like a lot of these characters for so many reasons. Like for example, Cooler has a really slow paralyzed charge ki blast. You could like throw the charge ki blast out, maybe one or two of them, and then like super dash around the opponent. And even if they block or like move out of the way, a lot of times those charge ki blast will come in and like if let's say they sidestep you and put you in a combo, well then the charge ki blast comes in and like hits them, and then it'll stun them, and then you put them in your combo. So it's just like insurance, like it's that's all it is. It's just insurance. It's like, okay, well, if they avoid this and get me, then at least I have this insurance. I mean, will it work? I mean, most likely it'll work. I mean, so there's definitely options around it. But yeah, anyways, let's go to the next one. So this is going to be, so we did, I want to say this is above average. So we just did average. Now we're in above average. This is probably where the Sword Trunks and the Future Trunks should be, even in their base forms. Yeah, I know a lot of people who were talking about Nappa. They were like, I don't think Nappa's that good. I don't like that, but I mean, maybe he could go down a bit, but he's really good. He has really good smashes and really good, like amazing stats. His stats are extremely high especially for what he was in the show. But I guess if I could move a character down, it would be Nappa, just a little bit. And the reason is because his rush chains are good. His grab is really good. Everything about him is good. Everything about him is good, except for his skills. So like his skills is the only thing that he's weak on. And in this game, it seems that skills are the most dominant attribute. So, yeah. So I think if anyone on this list would move down, it would be Nappa. And as for Team Gohan Super Saiyan, One other thing I would like to highlight, base form is better than Super Saiyan. So when I was saying that we should move base form up, I would put base form, in front of Super Saiyan Teen Gohan. I think Super Saiyan 2 is still stronger, and we'll get to that in a second. But base form is definitely stronger than Super Saiyan 1. Um, Another thing, let's see. I think they're in the next one, but yeah, no, like all these characters are really good. I don't have an issue with any of them. You have Dabura over here with Afterimage Strike. You have Cooler with Paralyzed Charge Ki Blast. You have Metal Cooler. He's like, I think he regenerates health over time too. So health and ki. So that's interesting. Um, let's see. It's really funny how second form Frieza is so strong. Something else to know about the Frieza forms, right? Like, so that I found out later whenever I was building the Ki Blast document for the spreadsheets. So second form Frieza is the strongest Frieza, sure, but I think the fourth and final, and maybe the third. You can always look at our spreadsheets to double check me, but those have infinite Ki Blast limits. Like, so for example, they can just keep shooting Ki Blast over and over and over and over and over, uh, infinitely. Like it forever and ever. So that right there is that is something to take under consideration. Plus, I think those characters do more damage with Ki Blast, and second form does. But another issue with second form Frieza that I have is he charges his ki slower than the other transformations. So that I would understand that part as well. So slightly slower charge for his ki, and he doesn't have the infinite Ki Blast limit. Some people that would matter more than others, but yeah, just an interesting thing to know about him. Other than that, I'm gonna switch ahead to the next one. So there's several people I would like to talk about with this one. So now we're getting into. So let's see, that was above average. So this is high tier. So on this tier right here, no, this is. Yeah. So okay, so we are average, above average. Now we're in high tier, right? So this right here, honestly, because we have two more to go, right? We have top tier, and then we have broken. Um, I think Sword Trunks, especially, but Tapion and Sword Trunks should be moved even higher. So this right here is now we did trash tier below average, we did average, then we did above average, and now we're at high tier. And honestly, I think that Sword Trunks in particular, like Super Saiyan Sword Trunks, should be even higher. He needs to be in top tier. He's just the fact that you can glitch people every single time is just ridiculous. So any sword character definitely should be moved up. Some other notable mentions that I don't think a lot of people know about. Let's talk about some sparking characters, right? Like, so I don't see. eh, for example, Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. His instant sparking actually impressed me. So I might be wrong on this, but I'm gonna try to remember accurately. His sparking, right, gives him 3 melee, 1 defense, and like 3 ki blast boost. But his whenever he goes into sparking by like without that, right, like just normally, he gets 1 melee, 3 defense, and 1 ki blast boost. So whenever you go into instant sparking, you get his base benefits. Oh, he has super armor, by the way, when he normally goes into sparking. So you get that as well. So like if you use the infinite, or I'm sorry, his instant sparking skill, then you essentially get 4 melee boost, 4 defense boost, and 4 ki blast boost, if I'm not mistaken. I might have the emblems mixed up, but it's a ridiculous amount. So it's that's all that information is going to be on our new website. But yeah, so like the fact that he gets armor and all those buffs is that's a lot. So definitely a lot there. Um, yeah, but other than that, like I mean, all these characters are really like they're really good. Um, they're they have really good skills. Like we're now in the top, so no matter what character we see here, like all their skills are good. Their blasts are good. Their smash attacks are pretty good. Um, Shout out to Raccoon, like like he should like he doesn't seem to be a character that should be up this high. Like like I kind of put him and Nappa, like in the same like mindset when I'm thinking of the show, and I would say yeah, Raccoon's better at Nappa in the show, but they're still like early Dragon Ball Z, so like they're still really weak in comparison to like Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. Like Frieza lost to Super Saiyan. Anyways, um, all I would say is Raccoon has earned that spot so hardcore where like I've seen so many people play him. He's really good. He has such good rush chains. He has such good skills. Like he has instant sparking and false courage. So, which I like false courage in the fact that in DP battles, you could use false courage to combat like Master Roshi or Videl with After Image Strike. So as soon as they use After Image Strike, you just pop you just pop a false courage, and you can spam like grabs and other stuff in order and supers in order to deal your damage. Grabs in particular, I usually grab them, key blast them, and use super counters because After Image Strike doesn't help you against any of that. So, but the other thing is like his instant sparking will allow him to do infinite key blasts versus the yeah um, he's really good. Like I can't say anything more about him. Like he is really good. Kava as well. Like Kava has really good skills, guys. Like really good. But we're gonna go ahead and skip to the next one. And hold on, that is way too small. And there we go. So back that down just a bit. But yeah, so this is going to be the high tier characters, or I'm sorry, the top tier. So this is right below Broken. These are like the best of the best, right below Broken. And yeah, so personally, I think this is really funny. I think Fuse Zamasu though is mixed up with Corrupted because Fuse Zamasu is better than the half corrupted form. So to explain why, it's mainly skills. Like half corrupted has higher stats. I think he has higher defense, and his defense gives you an additional 3,000 health. Like for example, so if you relate his defense to your health bar, your opponent will have to overcome 3,000 more damage for defense, for example, to kill him. So his immortal body, essentially what it does is it gives you a health bar, and it's pretty fast too. Like the animation's not very, it doesn't take very long. So his skill, if he does it one time, he's already ahead of the stats of half corrupted. So I would say the base form is actually the better one. So swap these two; they're just reversed. So half corrupted would be down here, and since we haven't seen that yet, that he's one of the top contenders. But yeah, so Fuse Zamasu base form base Fuse Zamasu is better, and they're swapped. Um, so other than that though, I mean, I think all these characters are pretty self-explanatory. Now we're getting into like the best of the best characters. Some of these characters have high tension. A lot of people think high tension and full power charge is the same. It's not, because high tension, I think it doesn't have a cutscene if I remember. But one attribute that I remember from high tension is it gives you 2 key bars. So if you have 0, it'll give you 2. If you have 2, it'll give you 4. Like it increases your key bars by 2. Full power charge puts you at full key, regardless of where you are. So if you're at nothing, full key. And it has a cutscene that is uninterruptible, so it's way better. And yeah, other than that though, same thing with Kid Buu. So he has sleep. So if you want to use sleep against your opponent, a lot of times the best way is to hit them with an ultimate, and which will make them lock off of your character. And while they're locked off, you just pop the sleep real quick because your ultimate takes key, your sleep takes skill points, so you can just do one right after the other, and that is the best time that I have found. Now, I think everyone's kind of scratching their heads on Ginyu, because they're thinking like, okay, well, if a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was fighting Ginyu, like he would just get pounded. Like, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Until he hits his ultimate. So like it's definitely contingent on the ultimate hitting, but his ultimate is an unblockable ulti. So there's a lot of instances where he could force you into a corner where you have to take the ultimate for the most part. And not only could he do that very easily, but he also has instant sparking. So he's getting the ultimate off. Like he's going to get it off because he has instant sparking, and he can back you into a corner. So I would say like if you're just beating the crap out of Ginyu, you have to be kind of careful with that because if he's not really hurting you that bad, you're just pummeling him to death. Then and he body changes with you, he'll instantly win. So like and the thing of it is what I really like, because I don't really like using skills in Blast, particularly I think they really hurt the game. I think they're very overpowered. So like me, I'm mostly a melee player that just doesn't use skills in Blast very often. So if if you're a melee specialist and then you hit somebody with that, neither player can use skills or blast. So like if they were spamming you or something like that, like they can't do that anymore. They can't use any skills or blast whatsoever. So I love this character. Like it's like if I could take away if I could take away your skills and blast, and same thing with me, I'm relinquishing my skills and blast. Oh, I'm gonna have a field day with like anybody on this game. So like yeah. So that's good stuff. Anyway, so that's how Ginyu plays. Yeah. Other than that though, Gogeta. I don't know if you saw the video about Gogeta, but like that really high damage video. Gogeta in Super Saiyan can also do that, and base form as well. So he could do that really high damage combo even when he's not in blue. So that's definitely something to remember. Another little thought, so that just like I guess like an Easter egg of the game. Kaioken Goku and Evolve Vegeta are actually separate characters from the ones on the screen now. So like for example, like Blue Vegeta, Blue Goku, they are not the same characters as Evolved and Kaioken. So whenever you use those supers, you're actually switching out the characters for a completely different character, because they have in the code of the game, they have a completely separate game file for those particular characters. So it's just an interesting thing to know, I guess. Let's go to the next one. This is still small. Whew. It's because I just edited these. Oh, okay, so Half Corrupted was... Okay, that was weird. So Half Corrupted was supposed to be on the last one, but it was fused to Masu on both. That's kind of odd. So this is right though. So this list is correct, and meaning that is the correct fused Masu that's there. On the last list it should have been Half Corrupted. This is the right one here. He does get like... He has really good stats, but he also has really good smash. He is the best smash, the best rush chains in the game, and his immortal body is really good. I can't remember the other skill he has. I know it's a really good one, but yeah, like essentially his health one is the one you want to use the most. Other than that, though, Whis has snack time, which is just... It's not as good because it's not a whole health bar. It's like 80% of a health bar. So he gets 80% of a health bar. But that's still really good. But the problem with Whis is he has a barrier for his other skill, and like the barrier is punishable. So I don't really like barriers per se. It's much better to use explosive wave. Um, yeah, so that's just something to take under consideration. Um, Now, if we're talking about, I want to talk about UI Sign Goku real quick. Um, he has literally, and this actually might change his placement a little bit, but he has literally the number one most broken skill in the entire game. And the reason is he has full power charge that also gives you buffs as well. So he like gets full power charge with buffs, which is just completely ridiculous. Um, just something to know. And now blue Gogeta cannot do the high damage combo that I showed the other day, where I like killed a whole full character from full health to 0 in 13 seconds. So yeah, he can't do that. Beerus is super good. You know, I think he has an unblockable ultimate. He has instant sparking. I can't remember the other skill. It's just too many characters to remember every single character in the game. Even though I look at spreadsheets all day about their skills, and I just did the skill spreadsheet. I can't quite think of the other skill he has. Jiren has two really good skills. I'm pretty sure it's instant sparking, and it's also explosive wave. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's Jiren's. And he has a ridiculously high stat lineup as well, which makes sense with the list. So really, really good rush chains as well. All these characters, by the way, have amazing rush chains. And when I say amazing, it means they have the gut strike, they have the turnaround, they have the flying kicks. Those are the three typical ones you want, even though I really don't like flying kicks because it's so easy to super counter. But you definitely want the turnaround and the gut strike. Those are the main ones that you want. The next one's UI Goku. Literally, I think he has the second highest stats in the game. So like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is the strongest character if we're not including giants, right? But Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is the highest, and then Ultra Instinct Goku. No, then it's Toppo, God Toppo, and then it's UI Goku. So I think he's the third strongest in the game for that. His supers are just absolutely ridiculous, and his skills as well, just absolutely some stuff there. Other than that, having 50,000 health with ridiculously good stats, I mean, it's just this pretty much the same thing is said for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, except Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta literally has the highest stats in the game. And I don't know if you realize, like, if y'all saw the video of me doing that crazy combo, but Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta can literally kill you in 13 seconds or less. So I showcase a combo that does very few hits that you could do so much damage with. I think within 3 seconds you do like 7,000 damage, and that's no supers. It's just like, I mean, it might be faster in 3 seconds. I don't know, but like it's about 3 seconds, and you can do like 7,000 damage, if not more. I'm trying to think. So Smash 2, like that's essentially you do your rush chain 2, right? So you do, if you're on controller, it's I'm sorry, if you're on Xbox, it's XX triangle. I'm going between. Sorry. Yeah, it would be XXY on Xbox, and then square triangle on PlayStation. And so for your Smash 2, that's going to be a gut strike, so you're going to hit him in the gut, and you have to be behind them, by the way. But whenever you do that, you do a very slightly charged Ki Blast. The Gut Strike itself, I think, does like 2,000 ish damage. Like the two punch plus the Gut Strike is like 2,500 damage. And then the Ki Blast itself is 4,400 damage. So that right there is 7,000 damage. And like all you did was 3 hits that they could get out of. It's just the 2 hits, and then the Gut Strike, and then the Charge Ki Blast they can't get out of. So only 3 hits, 7,000. And then after that, you trip them, charge Ki Blast, and then stand them up with a slightly charged X, and then you just repeat the process because it's a complete reset. I think the trip does about 1,000 damage when you add the hits damage. So like the one punch plus trip is 1,000 damage. The charge Ki Blast does 25% damage because you're on the ground, and so that does about 1,100 damage. And then yeah, the slightly charged axe will do about 1,000. So you're looking at like 3,000 plus the 7,000 from earlier. So you're talking about 10,000 damage, which is 1 health bar in about 3 to 4 seconds. So that's because you're just hitting them once. Charge Ki Blast hitting them, once. Like that's literally it. You're not hitting them much at all. And the reason is so it gives them less chances to escape. Anyways, other than that, he has Wild Sense and High Tension. I'm pretty sure it's Wild Sense and not High Tension, but Instant Sparking. So that's his kit. But really, the big thing that puts him way above the rest is the guy. Literally, if he hits you with a charged Ki Blast, it takes half your health bar. Like that's so ridiculous. It takes half your health bar with 1 charge Ki Blast. If he hits you with 2 charge Ki Blasts, he might as well hit you with a super. Like he might as well hit you with a Kamehameha. Like that's ridiculous. Like 1 charge Ki Blast is half a Kamehameha. That's just absolutely insane. So he can just spam you a charge Ki Blast in the middle of his combos to increase the damage to some ridiculous number that no other character can even fathom. So that is why he's in the top 3. Now, Super Vegito, I think is the so these are primarily the skills. So Super Vegito, stat wise, not including giants, is I think number 12 on the list. So he is the 12th strongest character in the entire game with stats. And but the thing that puts him above the rest is After Image Strike, because After Image Strike is just the second most broken thing in the entire game. The most annoying thing, I guess, by far, but like it's just where for 3, like, let's put it this way, it takes 3 skill points to activate After Image Strike. To get 3 skill points, if you're standing still not doing anything, right, it will take you 45 seconds. It lasts for 15 seconds. So that means if you're both just standing there not doing anything, it'll take 30 seconds for you to get your skill points back. Now, after it wears off, right? So, but the problem is like if you hit them, but because you have to hit them to win, then that reduces the time frame. So it can reduce like by half, meaning that, for example, if you super counter them and then y'all get into a vanish exchange, it could literally take in half the amount of time that it takes for them to get their next After Image Strike. For example, the how can I say this? Like the sorry guys, I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. If it takes 45 seconds, half of that would be 22 and a half, right? If it stays for 15 seconds, that means you only have 7.5 seconds to fight them without them having it. So essentially, they could have After Image Strike for, I would say, safely say, at least 50% of the game. So 50% of the entire game, they're going to have After Image Strike, meaning that and people are like, oh, we'll just spam them with Ki Blast. It's like, okay, well, what happens when you run out of Ki? Like not all characters have, full power charge. And it's like you could say like, oh well, I could just go instant sparking. It's like first off, not all the characters have that either. Also, they can interrupt your instant sparking where you're not going instant sparking. So yeah, like it helps a little bit, but it doesn't help all that much. Now, when we talk about the number one character in the game, that is Blue Vegito, and the reason Blue Vegito is here is A, his stats, and B, his skills. So Blue Vegito, I think, is like the fourth strongest normal size character, right behind UI Goku. And so his stats are absolutely just ridiculously high, like 50,000 health, really high melee, really high defense, just absolutely crazy stats, just like a lot of the characters on this list. But he has full power charge. Like that's what puts him so high up. And that's also what might change the UI sign Goku, because he like has less stats than everybody on this list. He's the weakest character on this list, but the reason he's on this list is because of full power charge. So like same thing goes for Blue Vegito, because let's say Blue Vegito fights Super Vegito, for example. Blue Vegito is going to win. Like he's going to win because he has infinite ki. So where we were saying like, oh, just spam Ki Blast, it's like he can literally just spam you with Ki Blast for like 90 seconds straight. So he does not care if you use After Him Strike or not. Like he just does. He does not care. So that is the list, guys. That is for all the characters in the game. Um, I guess I'm gonna take a minute, and you know what we could do, just to show you guys some extra kind of tidbits. I mean, if you not tidbits, but like some extra stuff. If you guys are still watching at this point, let me go over and show you guys the website stuff, because like I think it's really cool. And if you guys have watched this far in the video, I think y'all deserve it. So we have the first thing I would like to go over is our character models, right? So let's do models. I'm just going to go over a few. I'm just going to randomly scroll down, choose a character. All right, so this is Cell, and yeah, it's like, doesn't he look so good, dude? Like, and we have all the characters in the entire game. Like, I'll do one more. Just randomly go down here. This is Super Saiyan Teen Gohan. So we have every single character in the game, and this is 8K resolution. So 8,000 pixels by 8,000 pixels. So yeah, 8K resolution. Yeah, so that's the models. Now let me show you these that I actually. So I made these emblems to make it like better. Right here, I'm gonna show you guys a few. Oh well, here first, like for the key bars, right? Like we did this. So like you know how the key bars go across. Let me show you the 5-bar. So see the key bars. So like under the super, like you'll have the super's name up here, and then you'll like Kamehameha, and then you'll have the key cost in bars right below it. That's gonna be really cool. And then we have all of the like for example this right here, the icons in the game. And I could go, actually I could just scroll through them really quick, like so you guys can see. So I had to make these from scratch because the icons in the game are so small that if I blew them up, that it would yeah, it would just look like crap. But yeah, we made all these icons. This is defense down. This is I made this one. This isn't in the game, but I made this one as the evade. So if a character has like after image, wild sense, after image strike, they get this one. And then if they do like an explosion or a barrier or a push, so a push would be like Stardust Barrier, an explosion would be Explosive Wave, and Android Barrier would be like a barrier. But if they have anything that does like that pushes your opponent away, they will have this. This is health down, this is health up, this is instant sparking. So if a skill has instant sparking, you'll know. And this is the Ki Blast damage boost 2, 3, 4, key charging boost 2, 3, 4, key charging down. This is key. I think this is increase key. So like for example, full power charge or high tension. This is melee boost. melee debuff. This is teleport. So for example, if they have like an instant transmission technique, it's going to have this on. So essentially, like what I want to do, guys, is on our website, I want, like, let me show you guys this real quick. So like, this is just really good stuff that we're working on. So this is a template right here. Like this is like what we're trying, and don't, this isn't what it's going to look like. It'll look like way better than this whenever you guys see it. But this is what we were going over for the website, where we really want to like put as much info that we can on the website, so that way it looks better for you guys. So what we're thinking of, and comment down below please if you have like an idea what you want to see on the website, please comment down below, because we're trying to figure out what information is useful to the public. But let me tell you like the information that we have on here, and I'll probably make a separate video for the website, so that way people can comment on it and give us feedback early before the release, or before the initial release. But essentially, we're going to put the character class up here at the top. We're going to put the DP here, and then we're going to put the starting key, which, like I said, it's going to be in bars here. The character model. This is going. So I know this looks really weird because of this green bar here, but imagine. Do you know the in-game graph where it says like melee or health, key, melee, whatever, and then it goes up and down depending on how strong they are in each. That's what graph is going to be here. So it's going to be a graph, but it's going to be based off these numbers right here. So you can see the graph form, or you can see the raw numbers, and that's really important in my opinion, because this is going to be 100% accurate, whereas the graph in the game is terrible. Like, just as an example, like the combo scaling is directly off of your short dash key reduction. Like, so whenever you do the short dash, and it reduces your how much key it takes, the less key it takes, the higher your combo stat is in the game, which is completely ridiculous. This is going to be kind of opinionated, but we're mostly taking the stats of the character and seeing where the stats are the highest, and then we're going to put a title underneath the character, so that way you can see, oh, okay, well, this character is better in sparking mode, this character is better at melee damage, this character is better at skills, this one has a really good ultimate, this one has, so on and so forth. And then down here we're going to put all the skills. Then we're going to put all the blasts, and the skills are going to have how much skill points it takes, the name of it, and then it'll have every emblem that is associated with it. So if it's a teleport, it'll have the teleport emblem. If it makes your health go up, it'll have the health emblem. If it makes it go down, it'll have the health down emblem. If it gives you armor, like super armor, we have an emblem for that. If it's unblockable, we have a image for unblockable. So yeah, like that's really good stuff. That's a lot about what we're doing here. And then underneath the blast, we're going to put the rush chains with their follow-ups, so you know what rush chains every character has. Then we're going to have the different types of key blasts underneath that, and then we'll have like what direction the throws are, and any additional information for the throws are going to be put in under there for the descriptions. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. Other than that, we have giant stagger. This essentially means how many hits you have to do before you make a giant or a character with armor start flinching. So the lower the better. Starting skill points, I think that's useful. Starting key is useful. Over here, we don't really know what to put. I'm guessing what you guys would like to know is like a switch timer. Like, for example, every character has a different switch timer depending on their DP cost. So we might put the switch timer here, like how long does this character have to stay in the fight before it can switch out, So that might be something that we put here. But here, I'm not really sure. We're still thinking about it. And any other information, guys, that you guys can think of, any information at all that you guys can think of, like, hey, you know what, Fox, I think it would really help me out if the website had this or that for the character pages, for the profiles, then I mean that would really help us. So that way we could put that information, because we have basically every information about the game for every character already. We just need to know what what to put on there. Another thing we're probably going to put is beside the character blast, like beside the blast, I might actually put the numbers of their damage. So that also I think would be a really cool thing. But other than that, guys, for this video, I know we kind of went over the singles, but give me feedback. Let me know if y'all like it, or what, if y'all don't like it and stuff like that. But as well as come in the Discord and talk to me. Like we're here to communicate and help each other out. The Patreon is now up and running, so description will probably be in the, or I'm sorry, the link will be in the description below. So what we're doing on the Patreon is I have a paid service channel, and I try to really reduce it, because we're going to do like $3, $5, $10, and then have 3 different tiers for people who want certain things. Well, we eliminated that. We did all the the highest tier is $5, and we only do the $5 tier, and that's it. Because if you go in there, and what we do is we train together every Thursday. And not only do we train every Thursday together for at minimum 30 minutes, but if we have extra time, which I'm sure we do, then I will, I'll keep. Essentially, where we figure out what you guys are struggling with, and then we're going to help you guys with that. And the channel is a paid channel that is directly notifying my phone. So if you guys message something on there, essentially I'll see it and be able to reply a lot quicker than normal. So yeah, other than that though, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys right now. If you want to see a spreadsheet update, it's actually coming very soon. We're almost done with the blasts. We just updated for the skills, so like check out the skills. But yeah, so we are almost done with the blast, and whenever we update this sheet and put the blast on there, then that's whenever the update will happen for the for the sheet. But other than that, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. Like, subscribe if you can. It really helps me out being a small YouTuber. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.